sprint. Next stop, Texaco. Strapped up, you already know. Fuck niggas hate, that's how it goes. Bros with me, yeah, it's time to go.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. With millions of YouTube views, shares, Instagram likes, followers, and fans across the globe. But what do all these amazing pets have in common?
All right. You ready to rock?
Indeed.
All right, y'all ready to do this?
Yes, sir.
All right, so what's up, family? Welcome to the Black Bottom Man Radio Show with your boy, Brother Mike. I will be your host. As usual, I'm here with my partners in consciousness. First,
Hi.
How you doing today, Mr. Janice? Thanks for being here with us today. And we brought my main man, Apple Scrapple, Mr. Derek Woodson, back in the building. Mr. Woodson, glad you could join us again.
Indeed.
Hey, you know what? Can you do me a favor? My bell's hiding up underneath there. Yeah, right up underneath there. Yes, sir. We need a bell. Someone ring that bell. All right. We are live. So we're going to try to send out some invites so we can get you guys hanging out with us today. Today's show, we're going to be talking about 6 things to remove from your life. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. We've done a show like this before, but the reason why we are covering this again is because anything in life that you really want to sink in, it has to be repetitive, right? So Coca-Cola gets you to buy their sodas because they're so repetitive with their commercials, with their advertising, with their billboards. So in order for us to make sure that our audience is beginning to absorb this information and retain it, sometimes we do shows multiple times in multiple different ways to communicate the same information. So we are trying to plug this into your brain. So we will be talking about 6 things to remove from your life. But before we get into that, we're going to send out some invites so you guys can come hang out with us. And I'm going to do a couple plugs. First of all, we want to plug blackbodyman.com. Remember, buy is spelled B-U-Y. Make sure you check us out and buy some apparel. It's an easy way to practice group economics. And then also check us out on patreon.com, where you can become a patron and spend as little as $1 a month to help us keep this party going. And I also want to plug my main man, Woody, today. Okay, Woody's got a show coming up. Jokes to You Choke at Sizzle, July 28th. Doors open at 6 p.m., shows at 7 p.m. You can contact my man, Woody, at 410-776-1831. This is one of the funniest brothers you'll ever see in your life. Make sure you check my man, Woody, out. Tickets are $20 at the door, but you can call Woody up personally and get them. Again, this is Jokes and Laughs, Jokes Till You Choke. It'll be at Sizzle, July 28th. Doors open at 6 p.m., 7 p.m. show starts. Contact Woody at 410-776-1831. I know I want to check my man Woody out because he does such a good job. He's funny. So, brother, we looking forward to seeing you doing your thing at Sizzle on July 28th. Make sure you check that out. Harford County, Baltimore City. This is an up-and-coming comedian. This guy's, he's going to be on stage with Dave Chappelle and everybody in the long run. Make sure you check my main man, Woody, out.
I was just about to say, I could use some wax.
Yeah. Woody is, he's definitely doing what he was called to do in life. He's an awesome comedian. All right, so let's send out some invites here. Let's see if we can get some people hanging out with us today.
I'm happy to be back this week. I missed last week.
Right? I'm glad you're back.
You guys did a great show last week, though.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We're going to try to send it out through the watch party this time. My main man, Mr. Derek Woodson here, suggested that we do the shares as a watch party. So let's try that out and see if we can just give everybody invites. So let's send it out to some people. All the people.
How was you guys' weekend?
My weekend was good. It was hot. I kind of stayed in the house for the bulk of it.
Was it hot? I know
Yeah, it was so hot.
I was indoors all weekend, so I know everybody was talking about how hot it was.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was definitely hot. It was definitely hot. So let's see, do we have to share to get people on the watch party here? Yeah, let's try it like this. Boom. We inviting y'all now. Come on, hang out with us. come on and hang out with us. So let's send out some invites. What we got going on in current events? Anything? I got something off the top of my head.
I don't know, but I wanted to ask you two, since you are fathers, what do you think about the video that was on the guy beating his 12-year-old daughter?
Oh, yeah, I did see that video.
And catching her, you know, in the act.
Right.
What do you guys think about it, you fathers?
As a father, I think he did the right thing. I think this is what's missing from our children. You know, like we have been taken away from our standard on how we discipline our children, and we've been put on the standard of another nation of people. And their standard of the way they discipline their children doesn't work for our children, right? So I think he did the right thing, beating that ass, right, and letting her know, I'm not going to allow you to be this type of girl. The mistake was recording it and putting it on Facebook, because we have a very mixed up society. You know what I mean? In this society, what is viewed as good is really evil, and what's viewed as evil can be good. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So he may come across situations where people try to get him caught up in something. But I agree 100%. That's what's missing from these young ladies. If the father is more in her life and he's able to add that element of discipline, because the mother might not want to do that. That's her daughter. She shares a bond as woman to woman. You understand what I mean? The father's just going to beat that ass, you know, the same way a mother is with a boy. The father might be a little more lenient. Let me talk to my son. And the mother's just like, I'm beating his ass. You know, I told him to be here at a certain time. So, yeah, so for me, I didn't see a problem with it. I think this is what's missing amongst our community of people, the discipline that we used to receive. And it's actually biblical. Spare the rod, spoil the child. So we saw a father that did not spare the rod. And I promise you, if he stays on that path with her, she's not going to turn out like some of these other young ladies that devalue themselves and only see the value in their body and not their mind, you know, because that's where a lot of our sisters are at, both young and old. We have a lot of sisters today, and it's not all sisters, but we have enough that believe that their biggest asset is their body. And this is why they are constantly showing their body. Promiscuous clothing outfits, promiscuous dancing. It's because they have been taught that this is their biggest asset. Nobody's interested in showing how intelligent they are, how peaceful they are, how tranquil, how they can, you know, be a great supporter, you know what I mean, so forth and so on. It's like, no, it's all about booties and bodies. So yeah, I think he did the right thing.
What about you, Darren?
I'm gonna agree with him what he said. As far as like, you know, she should have got a tail whip, because first of all, you disrespect yourself,
Right.
and my home first and foremost. You don't pay near bill in there, and you bring some hooligan in there and give yourself up like that. And again, beating her on camera just give everybody else how you discipline her. Now you got to face the, what I'm trying to find a word for it. Face the people, because some people don't believe in behind whooping. They don't believe in it.
No.
So now they're going to protest because you could have did it a better way. You could have talked to her. You could have spoken to her. You could have waited till her mother came home. There's so many scenarios now that's going to come into play. Now, how I got whooped back in the day behind closed doors. Now, you might have heard me, but you never see my mother do anything. So it's pretty much a difference.
Yep, that's how I feel. It's discipline, and our children need discipline. You know, as I was saying, this is natural for us. This is how we all grew up. But at some point, other nations convinced us that the way we discipline our children is not the proper way. And we bought into it. And what has been the result? The result has been exactly what the scriptures said, which is we fear our children. You understand what I mean? We fear our children now because we haven't disciplined them.
But, and as a mom in that situation, I'm 100% behind the dad with that, with how you handle it.
I got one. It was a young gentleman. I can't remember the city where he was at, but he had dislocated his hip like a day before, and it was a fire out in his building. His mother, she was bedridden, so he climbed 15 flights to save his mother.
Oh, I saw that.
You see that? And he got his mother had to convince him, like, yo, they contained the fire down bottom, and she said, baby, it's okay. That showed that no matter what you think is wrong with you, someone that you love dearly, you're going to go beyond the odds and get it done.
Gonna find that strength, right?
Listen, I'd have jumped buildings for my mother, so I know how to
That's
kill
right.
her. I'd have right up there too, like, look, officer, because they basically kept, every time we tried to go in this part, they sent him to another part, said he couldn't go. He said, well, I'm going to do it on my own, bad hip and all.
Right.
He did that. I salute him for that.
Salute. What about this for current events? What about the fact that no one seems to be talking about the 1.6, what was it, trillion million dollars of cocaina that was on J.P. Morgan's with the little port properties, the
business. Oh,
yeah,
got you.
On their property, and that seems to be swept under the rug.
Of course.
You understand what I mean? 1.6 million, I think it was, and on his cargo containers.
Yeah.
Right. J.P. Morgan. Right. These supposed to be the people that, you know. I'm trying to tell you, y'all better figure out who the real drug dealers are. That's what y'all better figure out. And nobody's saying nothing about that. They keeping that on the low. J.P. Morgan, caught with coke. Don't make no sense.
It does to me because
it does, right?
It's been going on since the beginning. I remember years and years ago. I remember Jerry Seinfeld got caught with a bunch of coke. Didn't do a day in jail, nothing. Mm-hmm. It's sad because the things happen and we disregard it. Oh, come my bad, brother. I got to look
right. Absolutely. All right,
but you know, the coke days was always about that anyway.
Yeah, sure. They've always been the biggest. You understand what I mean? Black people don't own no boats to go to Colombia. We never did.
Not at all.
Colombia, Mexico, or any of the other places. So how do the drugs get here? Now we know. J.P. Morgan, that's how they get here, on his cargo.
Right.
That's how they get here. So they got caught bringing it in.
What about the white security guard who pulled his gun on the black police officer? The police officer was in uniform.
In uniform. Well, that's white privilege. You know what I mean? It's white privilege. You know, like this is what they can do. He's security. Now, me personally, if I'd have been that cop, I'd have shot his ass. Straight up, you know, and been like, he pulled a gun on me. He ain't nothing but security. I'd have straight popped him. But, you know, the brother handled it the right way. He stayed very calm, you know, called his crew in. And, of course, his crew is, of course, very understanding of the situation. And, you know, we'll get it taken care of and, you know, all that nonsense. Instead of just being like, this was wrong. This was absolutely wrong, no matter how you look at it. I'm still sending out invites to everybody, so bear with us. We're trying to do it watch party style this particular show. What else we got going on in the current events? Anything?
I don't know, but as a black woman, we can express our frustration in a store currently if we're picking up a prescription. If we're frustrated behind something, we can't express it without the police being called on us.
Oh, absolutely.
Who called the police on that woman CVS while she was trying to pick up her prescription because she didn't like her tone of voice.
Wow. So as we've spoken before, as you can see, there are some white people that are using the police as a weapon against black people, you know, for any little thing. And if you really think about it, the fact that they know that these police are actually killing black people, okay, they're really attempting to get you murdered when they call them on you for something petty. They're attempting to get you murdered because they know that that is the worst case scenario. And it's a scenario that's played out numerous amount of times. So not only are they calling the police on you, they're trying to get you murdered, which is terrible, absolutely terrible. Because they know what them boys come and do. They know what they come and do. Man, I got a lot of invites to send out today doing it watch party style.
Yeah, I can't even find the live. I can see the live on the computer, but I can't see it on here.
Go out and come back in. Sometimes I'll do that. You know what I mean? Hit your back arrow and come back in. See if that works for you. Bear with us, folks. We just want to get everybody tuned in with us today because this is going to be a great show. We're going to be talking about things that you need to remove from your life. And these are things that is going to touch your mind. We are going to free your mind today. For some, it may be a little uncomfortable, but overall, I think we're all going to walk away from this learning a few things, just like we did the last time we covered some of these topics. So let's just send out these invites and let's get it popping. Let's get this watch party jumping off. Man, I didn't know I had this many people on my list. Ah, you know, that would be a great one. Don't think it made the list. Didn't see it make the list, but that would be wonderful.
goodness. Come on. This list got to be good.
This list has got to be good. Getting into the good stuff.
Yeah, post dinner probably not even on the list.
Right, wishful thinking, wishful thinking. A woman can hope, right? Let her have some hope. I was about to send you an invite, young.
I almost got you too, right? I ain't say that.
This watch party needs to have an invite all button.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to send out a few more. If we didn't get a chance to send it to you, I apologize. But, you know, you can catch the show anytime. You know, we're always on Mondays from 12 to 2 p.m. here at Be Exposed Radio. Shout out to Be Exposed Radio for keeping the BBD radio show going for the past 2 years. We're 2 years in. We'll be celebrating our second year anniversary in August. First week of August coming up. You know, Yogi said we deserve a bell on that.
Right.
Let's get that bell going. All right, so I'm going to try to send out some more as I go along. But for now, let's see if we can get this party started. You know, let's see if we can get this party started.
Last year we did the game for the anniversary. What are we going to
I think we should bring the game back. We didn't do the whole game.
Oh, okay.
We only did a few. Shout out to Nassim Shabazz Bey. He says unsavory truths are a necessity, I believe they're supposed to say. Very, very true. Very, very true. I agree 100%, my brother. So let's see here. We got a few more.
I heard you hosted a karaoke event.
I did. Right. Okay. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. So, Brother Mike had a gig this past weekend. I hosted a karaoke night for the Rotary Club of Havre de Grace. Shout out to the Rotary Club, and thank you for hiring Brother Mike to host the event. We had a great time. Had a great time. It was a small karaoke event. It was their first time hosting one. You know, so they took a risk with Brother Mike and let me host it, and you know, we had some fun with it. Everybody enjoyed themselves. It actually lined me up for a couple more gigs. Did I sing? I did a little bit. I did. You know, I had 2 beers. Once I got the second beer in me, I was out there singing the hooks in chorus while other people were singing. Then I had to stop. Like, what am I doing? What am I doing? I'm the host. So yeah, it was very, very fun. Shout out to Miss Barbara Sampson as well as Dr. Sampson. Thank you guys for putting your trust in me. And yeah, it was nice. It was my first karaoke event. That's the first time I hosted karaoke. But I had so much fun with it, I'm looking forward to hosting another karaoke event. Like, it put me in the frame of mind where I want to do a karaoke event. Like, this was fun. This was actually a good time. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Let me see here. Let's go to Facebook here. All right, so let's get this show started. All right, so today we are talking 6 things that you need to remove from your life. This article was a video by motivational speaker Jay Shetty. So Jay Shetty is a motivational speaker, and this is a video he had out about these 6 things. And we had went over a few of these things before on another show before. So but I believe in repetitiveness, because this is how we learn anything. You know what I mean? Like, if you pay attention to brands on how they advertise, it's in your face all the time. You know, so certain shows we have to come back and redo it another way from a different angle to try to reinforce the same message that we've been pushing this whole time. So this is an example of one of them. Yeah, you know, to kind of bang that into your head. You won't necessarily learn something just seeing it one time. You know, you got to hear it over and over again. All right, so 6 things to remove from your life. For those who are joining us today for this live watch party, make sure you comment and let us know what you think about these things. So, number 1 of the 6 things to remove from your life is guilt. Guilt. Remove the guilt. Guilt is to the spirit as pain is to the body. Mistakes are always forgivable if we are courageous enough to admit them. And remember, the best apology we give to ourselves or anyone else is changed behavior. Now, I just love that last sentence. Let me read that last sentence again. For those who might not have heard that, listen to this last sentence. It says, and remember, the best apology that we can give ourselves or anyone else is changed behavior.
Wow.
Come on, talk to me. That is powerful. That is very, very powerful. Changed behavior. That's the biggest apology anyone could get. You know what I mean? Because sometimes people don't always accept apologies. You know, whether it's them being tough on you or they just personally are not quite ready for that apology. But your changed behavior is going to speak volumes of that. Because over time, even those who surround you are going to say to that other person, like, I know you didn't accept that person's apology, but they've really changed. You know what I mean? Like, that person has changed, so you might want to consider that. So what do you guys think about that?
I believe that it'll help you more with the guilt, too. It's going to help you not put that guilty pressure on yourself by changing your behavior, too. I mean, that's understanding, like, whatever, you did something wrong or whatever the case may be, but changing your behavior, it's a sincere way of showing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think we all have to do that in life. And when you do that, you're not doing it just for the other people.
Yeah.
You're changing your behavior for you.
Yeah.
You know, part of the side effect is going to be the effect that it has on other people.
Right.
It may influence them to want to change some of their behavior patterns, but it takes an adult, a big person, to realize that changes need to be had. But before we dive into this, we are up on our first break. Stay with us. It's the Black Bottom Band Radio Show. We are talking 6 things you need to remove from your life. We'll be back after this message. Yeah.
Listen to this flashback of Skyline Radio Show.
So where we at? Where we talk about the effects and what's going on in these schools.
Yes.
And what people don't understand. Just real briefly, I just want to talk a little bit about what people say bullying is or is not. So bullying comes in many forms. It's a teasing, it's the cyberbullying, it's the texting, it's the phone calls, it's the posting of pictures and people's personal information to pretty much cause them harm, to have them feel insecure. It's the sex assaults that people actually put out there. There are physical assaults, and there are mental assaults and emotional assaults. And what I like to remind individuals that any aggressive behavior towards anyone that is unwanted and unwarranted, and an individual asks you to stop. Let's stop there. Stop.
And they should be respecting that.
Respecting that and respecting yourself, because when you're able to respect another person, you're able to respect yourself. Right. And the way that you're able to show that respect is that you know that you have a gift and you know you're uniquely made and that you matter, and then you also acknowledge that the next person beside you matters as well.
Right.
You know, and we lose that sometimes. Bullying is a behavior that underestimates the lives and legacy of you. I'm sure when they was bullying me, and I'm sure when they was bullying you, they didn't understand who you're going to become later on. I didn't know.
Right, because I'm popping. I can't All right, let me tell you, all those people who felt like they wanted to say whatever to me, look at me now. It's like, no, y'all don't understand, but I've been through some things, okay?
And you know what? No. I applaud you and I salute you, because a lot of times we do not take the time to say, I'm okay, and I'm okay with me, and there's nothing wrong with me, and I'm amazing, and I'm blessed, and I'm strong, and I matter.
Join us every Wednesday at 7 p.m. for Skyline Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Long live Pop. Y'all can go ahead and cry now. I'm gonna show these niggas what to do at one of your beats, man. I am Gas, by the way. Strong woman story should have been on CNN. Nobody knows what it's like being Gwen. Windows closed in the house, it ain't no CNN. Can't gain weight for years, she been being thin. Single mother, no help from the system. When they was giving out food stamps, she missed them.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
But her son was so beautiful when she kissed him. Blame it on love, but nigga she could've died with. Destroy the whole world and found out.
All right, welcome back everybody to the Black Bottom Band Radio Show. Today we are talking 6 things to remove from your life. So we was on number 1, which was guilt. So let me read guilt again. Guilt is to the spirit as pain is to the body. Mistakes are always forgivable if we are courageous enough to admit them. And remember, the best apology we give to ourselves or anyone else is changed behavior. So I really like that. I mean, what do you all think about when you hear that? The best apology is changed behavior. Now, I don't think they're saying don't apologize,
No,
right? But they're just saying whether they accept it or not. One of the best ways to show is through your changed behavior.
That's a way of showing somebody, that, your apology was
Sincere.
Yeah. By your changed behavior, because it's kind of hard to apologize and then go back to doing the same thing, or having the same attitude or ways you had, when whatever happened.
Okay.
Changed behavior shows a lot.
I think it does too. I think it can influence others. Do people always accept a changed behavior?
They may not always accept it, but at least it'll make you, the person, feel better.
Yes, you're definitely going to feel better.
So it's, like you said, the biggest person is for anyway is yourself. So.
Yogi, what do you think? Mr. Woodson?
As far as like the change behavior?
Yeah, do you think sometimes people don't allow you, well, they don't accept your changed behavior? You know what I'm saying? Like, they could still think that you are who you are and you're just pretending to be someone else.
It's a double-sided coin. Sometimes the things that you've done, it hurt a person so deep, they just won't let you change. They'll constantly give you argument after argument after argument because the hurt was so deep for them. Even though you changed, it's been 10, 15 years now. You have evolved, you've changed for the better,
right.
And you're apologetic to them. You're reaching out to them. Look, I was young then, I was an adolescent, please forgive me. I'm trying to make amends. I don't want to be this I don't want you to perceive me this person again. This is who I am. And some people just won't let it go. So just forgive yourself. Like the brother said, he said, forgive yourself. Keep it pushing.
Do y'all believe maybe it's hard for the other person to accept your changed behavior? It's because their behavior is still the same?
See, that's a good question. See, that's kind of what I'm getting at. You get what I mean? Could it be a little jealousy involved in the fact that you have evolved, you have began to change, and they haven't?
Right.
So they don't want to let you change in their mind.
Right.
They want to hold on to whatever you was or whatever you did, so forth and so on. I definitely think that happens. I definitely think it happens.
Yeah, because, a lot of times because you hear it all the time. A lot of times when a person is changing, you hear it all the time. You always going to have people who remind you of, I guess, the way you used to be. Or like, well, a year ago, you didn't feel that way. A year ago, you felt like I did. Well, like you said, I'm evolving. So
right.
That's changed. But
I'm growing up.
Yeah, a lot of people
doing things differently.
Like you said, don't accept your change because, they're still in the same place.
See, one of the things that I find to be interesting with, people who are of that nature is they don't hold themselves accountable like that. You get what I'm saying? So you're not letting someone else change, but you want everybody to forgive you. You get what I mean? Forgive you and accept that you might have changed in certain areas, so forth and so on. So it's pretty hypocritical, because we all, I believe in forgiveness, because I want to be forgiven if I do something that I should be forgiven for or need to ask for forgiveness for. You get what I mean? So I can't see myself being in a position where I can look at somebody else like, oh, I can never forgive that person.
Right.
Well, you have to, you have to do it for yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? You have to do it for yourself. So what about, okay, go ahead.
And I think that's where a lot of the guilt comes in when they say the first thing you have to let go is guilt. Because I think a lot of people still hold on to the guilt because of the fact that a lot of people don't want to accept that you change, and a lot of people want to keep holding it over you, and you feel guilty because you did do it and it did happen.
Right.
And no matter what you do, your apology or your changed behavior is still not getting any the feedback that you want from the person. You're still not getting that back.
You're not feeling like you've been
some
forgiven,
type of guilt for it.
Right.
So I think what it's pretty much saying is just let go of the guilt. Just as long as you have changed behavior and what you're doing, that's good enough. You can't really hold on to the guilt because people are not going to let you off the hook. Because the fact of the matter is, some of them is never going to let you off.
Bitter.
Very bitter. They're the ones holding on to it, correct?
Yes. So they're going to make you hold that guilt forever if they could. If they can make you carry that guilt with you the rest of your life, that's what they're going to do.
So what does that say about them as an individual? As far as their life, happy, unhappy, so forth and so on. Like, to me, my personal take on that is that's an unhappy person. You get what I mean? Because happy people don't want to hold on to things that make them unhappy, even if it's about another person.
Yeah, but it also says too, you know, that some people just not growing. Some people not learning. Some people not growing, and some people just not evolving. They're just in this thing. They're stuck in the same place that they was whenever, I don't know,
mentally,
20 years
right?
ago, 10 years ago. They stuck in that same place. And the only thing it can say, for me personally, about another person is just the fact that they're just simply not growing.
You can't force a square inside of a circle. So if you apologize several times and you're sincere and you give them the best apology you possibly can, then you change the atmosphere, in other words. You remove yourself from that and you keep it moving. You cannot force a person to accept your apology. It's impossible. You know, me personally, I can forgive, but I will never forget. I won't hold you accountable for it,
right?
But I will also let you know it's not forgotten by far.
So you can be scarred by it.
Of course.
You can be scarred.
It depends on the situation.
Right.
You know, you can steal from me, you can hurt me, you can do all types of things to me, you know. Even if it's something very minute, I can still say, I forgive you, you know, but it wasn't cool what you did. You know, while making it so vast, so I'm saying, yo, I forgive you, but man, we can keep going in on it. No, I forgive you, brother. It's over with, you know what I mean? But
right.
Just know what you've done will never happen again. And you don't dwell on the situation anymore. You keep it moving.
Right, okay.
And then also, I think you have to remember that, you know, some people don't want to let it go.
And you gotta get yourself away from them then.
Yeah, they want to hold on to it.
They're toxic to you.
Yes.
Because every time you come around, man, there he go, man.
Right.
You'll go the opposite way just to get away from the negativity. And that's ridiculous. Where you're going the straight path, oh, here he is, man, I got to go through this again. And you apologize 1,000 times, then you become bitter as well.
Right.
Now you're angry. You had a good day, you got up, put your one shoe on behind the other, got dressed, walked out your front door, smile on your face, sun's beaming, the birds is out, you see this individual. It starts raining out of nowhere, thunderstorm, because your life doesn't dictate your actions.
Right.
So either you have to have a confrontation where it needs to be settled that day, or remove yourself from this individual. Some of us can. It could be a brother, it could be a father, it could be a mother, it could be a child's mother, it could be a baby father, whatever it may be. But the choice for you to become stress-free, you might have to do that for a while. For them to realize, like, look, I had to separate myself from you for a while for you to get it. So if I come back 6 months from now and you still that way, you might have to call it quits after this, Jack. Because I'm going to keep coming around you and making myself become bitter with you because you're holding on to something that happened several years ago, 2 months ago, or 10 years ago.
So what do you think we could do to let go of the guilt? If you're carrying that guilt from mistakes that you've made.
I think just continue to grow, continue to evolve, and continue to change your behavior. You're going to feel good. You're going to feel better, and you're going to be able to move forward. I mean, other people, they're the ones that's really going to be left behind, the ones that's holding on to it. Because isn't it a saying like the way you release something anyway is that you apologize or you accept somebody's apology for you to release yourself from it all anyway?
Absolutely.
Or it just holds on to you for the rest of your life?
Yeah, but it's like a lot of us we haven't learned that lesson in life. You get what I mean?
I think some of us did. I think some of us just
don't want to.
Well,
of course some of us did, but I'm just saying.
No, but you know what I'm saying? I think some of us just don't want to. Like,
oh, yeah, I believe that as well.
Some of us just don't. Like a person goes back to apologize. Like, wait, no. Like, I want to continue to, like, hate on you. I need this reason to, like, continue to hate on you. So I don't want to accept this apology. I want to carry it.
Right.
I want to hold on to this, and I want to carry it forever.
They don't want to let you off the hook.
Yeah.
Say if you need something, say if you stole from me. Like I tell you all the time, I can't stand a thief. I can't. They're the bottom of the food chain. I can't stand it. Rather you spit in my face, tell me that I'm a punk, and take it from me. Straight up and down. And some people won't allow you to get away with it. They want you to feel that way. Some people just petty, like, man, I've been illegal, but I'm going to hold on to this for a little while. Make them sweat. You know what I'm saying? But I don't believe in mistakes. It took me 31 years to realize that. Don't judge my age. I got a little bit before that too. You know what I'm saying? Because you make errors in your judgment. A mistake is I'm over here leaning over and I knock his phone over. That's a mistake.
Right.
A mistake is I knock my phone down and pull a wallet. That's a mistake. Me physically going in his car and stealing his wallet is not a mistake.
Right.
So when he hits me in my mouth, is that a mistake? Hell no, he meant what he did. You know what I'm saying? That's not a mistake. So most people who are in these situations, they understand that's not a mistake. What you did to me hurt me. So I'm going to hurt you, whether it's bitter, whereas I'm ignoring you, I'm not speaking to you, I'm telling the whole town what you did to me, just for you to get it.
Right.
So that's how some people work.
Yeah, you know how when you like somebody so much, you just, you need a reason to dislike them. So once they give you that one reason, like, you hold on to it forever.
Okay.
Like, you never let it go.
I'll read a couple comments. Dwayne Harrison says, I never care about anybody's opinion about me or what they think about me. Yeah, you definitely have to develop tough skin as you get older. You give it a bit, you have to develop tough skin. Naseem Shabazz says, Grave is in the building. All right, I'm not sure what that means, brother. Clue us in on that, Ike. Let me know what you're talking about, brother. But, okay, Dwayne Harrison has another comment, because everybody is going to have their own opinions, period. True, they're going to have their own opinion. I just have always felt like these are unhappy people. You know, like I remember seeing the episode of Oprah. I talked about this before on another show. I'm not saying I'm some big Oprah fan, but I've seen her show. You get what I'm saying? We all have seen her show.
I don't like Oprah.
But,
Kanye said
right. He said he pulled a Kanye off.
Right.
But yeah, I remember her having a show where she talked about people holding on to things, you know, and I like how she explained how the people holding on to it don't know. The person you're holding that against, they've moved on with their life.
Yes, yeah.
They're living their life. They completely forgot that they stole a chocolate milk from you in 8th grade. They forgot about that.
Oh my God.
They forgot about it. You've been carrying that around, mad at that person, slandering that person. You know, and she was like, it only hurts you. You have to forgive them and then let it go, because they didn't let it go. In order for them to even feel any guilt about it, you'd have to bring the situation up to them, because they don't even remember it, because they moved on with their life and you were still stuck in that moment in time where you were so offended and you were so hurt.
Right.
And I know I've dealt with people that, you know, on that level, you know what I mean, where they're like holding on to something. And, you know, it doesn't mean we have to hold on to the guilt. As much as they may try to get you to hold on to that guilt. You don't have to. You can let it go. If you've done what I will call your due diligence, right? You know, I've apologized. I've explained the state of mind I was in at that time. I acknowledged that I was wrong for what I was doing. I acknowledge how I didn't mean to hurt you when I did it. Like, if you've done these things and then that person still wants to hold on to it,
you gotta
remove yourself from it. Hey, I did my thing. You enjoy that anger. You know what I mean? I'm fine with it. Keep it moving. So guilt. So evidently this is one of the powerful things that we have to remove out of our lives. And we all share guilt.
Yes, we do.
You know what I mean? In one way, shape, or form.
I mean, it's really big. I mean, of course, like, we can look at it on the top part and be like, yeah, you move on. But for some people, like, it's not that simple. Guilt is really big for them, because there are people out here who spend like the next 20 years trying to rectify something that they do really feel guilty about. So it's really big for some folks. It might not be as big for us as it is for some people, but it really is. It goes, it's way deep for some people with that guilt.
And as much as an apology is so difficult for so many people, for some people an apology is really, really difficult. I've never found it to be that difficult, you know what I mean? But for some people it really is. So with that being said, with that being said, when you have people that will apologize to you, like, you should take that in accountability, because so many people won't. Someone just put a great post up on Facebook the other day, and like, it just made me smile, but it was so true. And the post said, people still walking around mad at me for the wrong they did to me. I said, oh my God, man, you get a bell on that. That is the truth. Think about that. People are walking around mad at you for the shit they did to you, the wrong that they did to you. And they the ones walking around with an attitude like they mad at you and don't fool with you.
That's the trick. They'll make it seem like they're mad at you. In reality, they're sick, because they have to find some way, shape, or form to stay away from you.
Right.
You know, you don't really deal with you no more. Of course you don't.
Right.
He the one stole from me. And then when the outside person hears that, then they understand. Then they can figure it out on their own.
You know, I just realized, like he said, Grace as in Happy Grace. I'm lost, Ike. Sorry, sidebar. I got him now. That's right. Grace is in the building. All right, go ahead.
Get close to the keyboard, bro.
Right.
I was going to say, you know, the ones that walk around like that too, upset for something that they did to somebody else, that just goes in with the changed behavior. That just goes to show that they haven't changed any behavior since.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah. It's sad that people don't let you do that. Shout out to my man Woody. Woody, I plugged you earlier, man. I let him know about the show coming up. You know what I mean? Jokes Till You Choke, July 28th. Make sure y'all check out my man Woody. He's going to be over at Sizzle. Show starts at 7 p.m. and you can get through the door at 6 p.m. Hit Woody up for some tickets, y'all. The brother needs support. We need to get out there and support this brother. He's the next up-and-coming comedian, funniest dude I've ever met in my life. And he just deserves our support, man. So we're going to do our best to make sure we support you, brother. But anyway, I want to read a comment here. So this is Miss Carolyn Spencer. Shout out to Miss Beanie. Copy. Miss Beanie says, I say let go of being around negative vibes. Hurt people have a tendency to hurt people. Move on with your life and let the hope and that joy comes to them one day. Yeah. Hope that joy comes to them one day. Shout out to Miss Beanie. Awesome comment, Miss Beanie. I agree with you 100%. Like, you got to get away from them negative vibes. And but, you know, it's tricky.
It is.
What's the tricky part about negative vibes? What do you think I'm about to say?
I don't know.
It often comes from family and friends. That's the
felt
tricky
that
part.
vibe. That's what you was
That
gonna
is the
say.
connection that makes it hard for people to disconnect. Because, you know, when we say it, you know, stay away from these negative vibes. It's like bet. But then you start thinking who the negative vibes are.
True.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you know, it's this person, that person, right? And it's usually people that are close to you. Because think about it, if you get negative vibes from someone who's not close to you, you just walk away from that easily.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you know what? I don't even know that person, not fooling with them. But yeah, it often comes from close within.
Right.
So she's 100% correct, you know, but it's definitely something that we gotta, you know what I mean? We gotta
Yes.
focus in on.
And it's definitely something you have to let go of, just so you can continue to evolve. Just let go of the guilt.
Right. Let go of the guilt. You don't have to carry the guilt just because they want you to carry that guilt around. You do not have to carry it.
And when you do, the biggest way you can show it is just change behavior.
Right?
That's all.
Change behavior. So let me plug my man Woody one more time. So for anyone that missed it at the top of the show, make sure you check out comedian Woody at Jokes Till You Choke at Sizzle, July 28th. Doors open at 6 p.m., shows at 7 p.m. For tickets, you can contact Woody at 410-776-1831. That's 410-776-1831. Tickets will be $20 at the door. Brother, I'm looking forward to seeing you act. And again, like I said, this brother is one of the funniest brothers I've ever met in my life. In Harford County, we need to jump out here and support him. Woody is by way of Baltimore City representing Harford County, so we need to be there and support this brother. So I just wanted to plug that again. Get the tickets, everybody. Come to the show. Have a good time. All right, so let's move on and take our second break. We'll be back. It's the Black Bottom Man Radio Show. We are talking 6 things removed from your life. Stay with us. We'll be back.
I could just send me a video. Another father beating his kids.
Yeah, yep. We're going to break, brother.
You're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
My name is Ruth Rusi. I'm a retired teacher. I'm 91 years old, and this is how I live United. I say retired, but not really. Once a week, I read books to children as part of United Way's education program. Reading to a child creates links between language and literacy. It creates a bond between grown-up and child, and believe it or not, it prepares them for a better academic future. Oh, we read about frogs and flies and pigs with wings, all sorts of juicy stuff. It's a joy to watch all those little faces. I figure I have the time and they have the need. And I've always believed that if we're not here to help each other, then what are we here for really? My name is Ruth Rusey. I help kids prepare to succeed in school.
You are now listening to Just a Bit Outside, the sports radio show at BExposedRadio.com. Come join us every Monday night from 8 to 10 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, or BExposedRadio.com.
So we had a lot of things going on.
Mother's Day, Major League Baseball, pink bats, pink outfits.
Yeah. They certainly did the mothers good. They don't show them justice. Like Jimmy said, the pink bats, cleats, all types of pink highlights in the major leagues. The Orioles were swept by the Kansas City Royals.
Wah, wah.
The Kansas City Royals. Thank you, Eric. Kansas City Royals is they're like one of the worst teams in the major leagues baseball right now. Yeah, so that was a little tough.
Yeah, so the Orioles no longer have the top record. It belongs to the Washington Nationals now.
Yeah, so that was tough. So hopefully they'll get back on track with the next series. Maryland, we got some local sports, collegiate to report. The Maryland lacrosse. Let's shout out the Maryland lacrosse team. They are in the NCAA tournament, and
Hey, this is Mark, Just a Bit Outside on BeExposedRadio.com. Listen to us every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. on Facebook and on YouTube.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
All right. All right, so welcome back, everybody, to the Black Bottom Man Radio Show. We are talking 6 things to remove from your life. So we were talking about guilt, and we all see the importance of why you have to let go of the guilt. So I'm going to read another comment we have here from Miss Kimberly Stewart. So Kimberly says, I found that prayer helped me to forgive and to apologize sincerely, then move on. Your commentary is on point. Misery loves company, and miserable people will never move past the past. You can't continue to own someone else's bad feelings, opinions, etc. Grace is given to all, but if they don't want to receive it, just keep moving. Let me scroll down here. Just keep moving. If you hold on to the negativity, then you can't move forward. Positive word, brother, thank you. Absolutely, and thank you, Miss Kimberly, for writing that comment, because you are on point with that as well. Prayer definitely helps, and I don't know, is that something that we tend to think of when we think of prayer? Do we think about praying, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You think so? Okay, what about you? No, it's not what I think of either, but Miss Janice is better than us. That's
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day,
no, I'm saying.
No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, through prayer, I mean, it helps you be very sincere with these apologies. Some people can give an apology just because people can say, I think I deserve an apology, and give it. Doesn't mean it's sincere.
Right.
You, through prayer, you can see, like, really what you're apologizing for. I mean, if you're praying and, taking that route, then you can see what you really apologizing for, and it makes your apology sincere. When you go to apologize to the person, you really mean it.
You could be praying to have that guilt removed off you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Lord, I've apologized to this person. They don't accept it. I still feel guilty of it. Remove this from me because I've done my part. You know what I mean? You never know. The Most High might remove it from you so you don't have to feel that particular guilt anymore.
That's why I stick to the error in your judgment. Because you make an error in your judgment, I explain myself to you, I tell you why I did it, and this is the end result. Once I finish talking, if you are bitter or angry or upset and you have a problem, the next time you see me, my back will be turned walking the other way.
Right.
It's just simple. Everybody has different ways of doing things. Prayer works. It really, really does. But that's within yourself. Because you have to forgive yourself because you were the one who did the wrong.
Right.
That person feels offended, they're going to be angry, and all these different things. So you have to ask for forgiveness for yourself. And once you explain yourself to the individual person and you tell them sincerely that I apologize, can you forgive me? If they don't, you have done your due diligence.
Done your due
so
diligence.
At the end of the day is, I'll give you the 2 fingers apiece, and I'm gonna keep it moving.
Keep it moving.
Yeah, but what if you're the person who was hurt? What if you're the person that was on the other side that was hurt, and then you're praying like, I want to be able to accept this person's apology, but I'm just not there yet, and I need to seek prayer to just try to accept this person's apology, just to see where this person was coming from.
True.
I have to pray just to, accept that.
I agree with that. I agree with that. That's on the opposite side. I was talking from this side. Oh, I got you. I agree with you.
All right, so let's go to the last statement of the guilt. It says, remember the best apology we give to ourselves or anyone else is changed behavior. Mm-hmm. So maybe the changed behavior has to play a part.
Yes.
Yeah. On both ends.
Yeah.
Right, on both ends, right? Okay, that makes sense. All right, so we definitely think you got to remove the guilt. We agree with that. That is one of the 6 things you have to remove from your life. So let's move on to number 2. Number 2 is excuses. It's time to remove excuses.
No.
Excuses are the lies we tell ourselves so that we don't have to think anything is our fault. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Excuses. Let me read that again. Excuses are the lies we tell ourselves so that we don't have to think that anything is our fault. So first of all, is that true?
I'm going to give 85%.
Yes.
85, okay. 85 is a yes. I'm going to go with that.
I believe we use excuses for everything, just to give justification to something. Like if you want to justify something, like you're going to come up with
excuses, right?
Yes.
Okay, so being that it says excuses are the lies that we tell ourselves so we don't have to think anything is our fault, it sounds like they're referring to our explanation to someone, right? Or about a situation that we was wrong about.
Right.
You understand what I mean? Instead of just being like,
my bad.
My bad. Yeah.
you get
wrong. I apologize. I'm so sorry.
Because think about it. You know what excuses does? Excuses keep you from being accountable.
Okay. Get a bell on that. Excuses keep you from being accountable.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, what I think of when I hear this is I've dealt with people where they will offend someone, right? And because it wasn't their intention to offend them, and they didn't mean to offend them, they feel they don't owe them an apology. To me, that's an excuse. That's an excuse to not face that this was your fault.
Right.
Because something can be your fault without you intending it to be your fault.
That's true.
I have offended people before that I didn't intend to offend. Right? But when they said to me, well, I felt a little offended by what you said. Of course, I'm going to give my, what's the word I'm looking for? My disclaimer and say, oh, you know what? I didn't intend to offend you. That wasn't what I was trying to communicate. But here's the best part. I also will say, but if you were offended, I apologize for that. It's no big deal. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm sorry I offended you. That's not what I was trying to do. I do apologize for that. Because what I've learned is that you have to respect the perspective of other people.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, I've experienced numerous times throughout my life where people don't do that. They just simply, someone else would be like, well, he or she feels like you should apologize. I'm not apologizing because when I said it, I wasn't trying to offend him, and it's like, okay, we get all that.
That's excuse.
Right, that's an excuse.
When
we
the
get
because
that.
come in, it's excuses.
It's an excuse, right?
My favorite one is but.
The but, right,
because,
right.
Like excuses.
So I think that this is what this is referring to. You know, so I just learned to grow a little bit. If I offended a person, even though I know it wasn't my intentions, I wasn't trying to do that, I will give them that apology because I'm respecting their perspective. I'm respecting their feelings.
Right.
But I've often been in situations where if the person doesn't agree that they offended you on purpose, they like, you not getting no apology from me.
Not at all.
Not at all. Because I didn't try to offend you, right? How about this? How about this? Then we've all heard this one. You just taking it that way. Right? And tell you that in a heartbeat. That's just how you chose to take it. And it's like, well, but even if that's true, you still owe them an apology.
But okay, as an example, since this we can say what we want on here.
Absolutely.
As a homosexual, right? You make a joke of a homosexual, and someone else hears it, and you explain that joke was towards this individual,
right?
But you heard it. It wasn't intended for you. But when you say that, he can have his basis is I'm homosexual. How can you separate us?
Right.
So they were offended.
He was offended. He laughed.
Okay.
So how do you figure that one out?
That's easy. Like, okay, you still will owe that person an apology.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Because here we go. At the end of the day, if I have an understanding with my fellow friend, you know what I'm saying, and I make a joke, he chuckles.
Yeah.
But he hears it and he's offended.
Exactly. That's that's where the apology come in.
But we have an open relationship where it's like, yo, this is my friend. And
Right.
I say, well, look, man, that pink shirt, you're real flamboyant today.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Or I say to do, matter of fact, I don't want to say his name. You know what I mean? That's sometimes.
Don't get out there, air him out.
No, what I'm saying is this: is that we can say anything, or where we come from, we used to make the junkie jokes, man. His jaw running all over the place.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Whole
True.
time she over there like this, jaw running,
Right.
but I'm talking to her.
Right.
So now I have to apologize to a person who overheard my personal conversation.
You're answering your own question. You're saying, this is your friend.
Right.
And that is. This is your friend.
Right.
This is not. This person don't know you. This person do. But this person heard you. So still, yes, it was offended to this person.
You're a parent. He's a parent. I'm a parent. You know what my mother would have told me? Mind your damn business. I get it. I try to take as long as I could.
Right.
In the corner.
Right.
But I definitely get it. I definitely get you.
Okay, yeah, and that was a good point. That was a good point.
She had me on the ropes. I fought long and hard.
Yeah, because I'm going to agree with her. I would go ahead and extend that apology to that person.
It's the right thing.
So I'm with you. But I see the point that you're making. Yeah,
right. That's how a lot of people, even on Facebook nowadays, you put something up there, and I'm speaking to y'all as Black by Demand, and we're speaking our mouths as we should, people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And somebody come out of left field, ain't got nothing to do, off work, and just bored, come out of nowhere with a 15 cent joint on there talking about, I think you shouldn't have said that. Who are you?
Right.
You're not even my friend. You're a friend of another friend. How'd you get on here?
Right.
So now I have to apologize to you because something that you sit there, and they're called trolls, as you are.
Yeah.
And you go down, and I've watched people go down the whole timeline, click on a person's name, go down there word for word, picture for picture, and then they find a 30th picture of something and become offended.
It's a little different when somebody's looking for trouble. It's different when you're looking for trouble and looking for debates. Like a situation like that, the person just wasn't looking. The person just happened to be there over here, and that's totally different. It's one thing when you just going through and just getting in people's business on purpose.
True.
That's different.
Give her the bill because she got me.
So.
She got you.
She got you.
You got you.
You got me.
She got you.
Total knockout. She got me, y'all. I tried for a long time. It didn't go my way.
Shout out to Miss Jennifer Candelaria. Thank you for joining us today, Jennifer. I'm actually just seeing some of your comments here.
Adrian Goodwin said he totally agree about the conversation we're having.
Absolutely. That's what's up. That's what's up. Jennifer says the new word in America is being politically correct. Unfortunately, everyone is sensitive and easily offended. It's ridiculous.
What's her name again? Say it again.
That is Miss Jennifer Candelaria.
Thank you very much. Now I appreciate that. You got me back up. No 10 seconds.
Yeah, and that is true. That is true. Like people have definitely become more sensitive today. But I definitely agree with Miss Janice on that. Though.
That was
she's
good.
got a valid point.
Yes, she
know.
did.
But I get what you're saying. It can't just be everybody coming from left field. Like, oh, I was offended too. You know what I mean? They just walked in the room. Like he said, what? Oh, I was offended by that as well. So I think it is tailored to situations.
She gave the adult decision. And I was playing the kid. And just keep it 100. She gave the adult decision, basically saying like what you should do if I say this individual person and it's a joke between us and this person heard it. I should be apologetic because they are two different people.
Right.
With a joke over here, and some person get mad over here. So
got you. All right, that's what's up. That's what the BBD radio show is all about. We got different perspectives, and we share our perspectives. All right, so I'll read another comment here. Dwayne Harrison, DJ Big Man says, what if you really don't give a shit, period? I'm back up. If I said something and it offended the person, I really don't care to apologize.
So I love you, man.
Okay, so
that's excuses. That's what we're talking about here.
That could fall under excuses. It is an option that we all have. I wouldn't recommend it.
Right.
I wouldn't recommend it because you want to show a level of sensitivity to other people's feelings.
But that's what he is.
Yeah. Oh, think I don't know? But I got to answer it from a general perspective. Right. I don't want to answer it just based on, knowing who DJ Big Man is. But yeah, so it is an option, but I don't think it's the option that's going to get you the best results. I think your best results is going to be if you show a concern for other people's feelings.
But see, that's the problem with the world nowadays. That's why the world is in so many different sections.
Okay.
I agree with her what she said, and it had merit to it.
Right.
And I also agree with Dwayne, because at the end of the day is people always say that we have all these different rights. And then we say something to a person, now it's out of context.
Sure.
We have freedom of speech. So if I felt as though I wanted to call him a homosexual or I wanted to call him a fag, I have that right.
Right.
Now, what the offensive part is how vulgar I sound.
Sure. Yeah.
Or if I say, oh, you are this, and how vulgar I sound, then that person get offended. I know why he got offended.
Right.
Or she got offended. Then your point comes into play where we have to apologize, because as being an adult, that's what adults do.
And not only that, that's what we're going over, the excuses. Like, we always give the justification of why we're going to give this excuse. There's always going to be justification. But at the end of the day, there are excuses to what we're just not trying to be accountable for.
Yeah, and that is what they're saying, that we have to let go.
So that's why they're saying let go of the excuses.
Let go of the excuses and be accountable.
And just be accountable. Like,
see, I think with Yogi and Dwayne, Derek Woodson, for those who don't know, I think what they're exercising is that option.
Right.
Right? You know what I mean? And you and I are saying, okay, that's available, but that's not the best option. Because even in regards to what Dwayne said, which is, what if you just don't give a shit? See, I don't think that's the best option, because when the table turns, you're going to want somebody to give a shit about your feelings.
Yeah, true.
So that's why I don't approach it that way. But he's within his rights.
Exactly.
To not give a shit. You get what I mean?
But if we're taking the best options here, then the best option would have been to pay attention to your surroundings in the first place when you're making these choices of your surroundings.
Sure.
But how do you do that? And I'm going to say this again, like, you were correct, and I got to ride with you.
Right.
I got to give it a bell, because she knocked me out over here. And then stole you from you over there. you was over here with me for a minute.
I'm trying to be the ref here.
Scooted your chair over and everything.
But go ahead, Go ahead. What were you saying?
At the end of the day is, how do you do that? If we're in a setting where we're outside, we're laughing, giggling, it's plenty times that we were left from here, we walked in the elevator, we coming through dunk, we doing all these different things, and we're just having a general conversation. How do we guard ourselves to keep us from coming into error?
You just pay attention. Just think about it or whatever. And clearly hypothetical. Like, that person there could be your next manager, boss, or whatever. You just made this comment in front of. Like, I'm just saying, you can have an interview next week and show up, and this is the person you're about to face. So you just have to pay attention to your surroundings.
But it's hard to pay attention to surroundings in a world.
When you're making certain jokes, I'm just saying.
In a world that we live in right now, they're taking, here's an example. There's a black man getting murdered every day in these streets, right? And no one is speaking up. No one said anything. But when you make a comment like that, they want to be, you owe them an apology.
Again, that goes back to the excuses, justification of why I can do this. I can do this because of this. Like, still.
No. What I believe in due process. If you have to be accountable for these acts over here, this is not an excuse. This is based on what we're talking about. I get what you're saying, because I said, well, I did this over here. They not doing this over here. That's a big lame excuse. Flat out. But I deal with due process. If I have to apologize for my actions, for my speech, for everything that I do in life, how I walk, how I talk, I get that. But in this way, this day in life, it's certain things you can say and certain things that you cannot say. And that's where people come in a place like that word, when we say the homosexual, you better not say it nowhere else.
Gotcha.
But they'll play a black man getting killed every day on Facebook. I'm not trying to make an excuse.
No,
I'm just talking about facts.
Mm-hmm.
So where it is that we have to be apologetic for these certain things.
Right. Yes.
But this is water under the bridge.
True.
We got one more nigga.
True.
So you know what I mean?
True.
And we'll let that go. And you don't apologize to the mother who's grieving for her son.
Mm-hmm.
Or the sister who the brother said, I'm going to get you out of here. I'm going to do, and he never sold a drug. He never got high. He never did none of these things. He worked. He said, I'm going to get you out of this neighborhood. And the day she comes from school looking for her brother, he is gone. They have took his life for his skin color.
But it's also going to be the situation, too. Because, you know, when I made that comment, it was for that situation that you explained.
And you got two bells.
It just depends. So it really depends on what the situation is. When you say if you owe the person apology or not.
Right.
In that situation we were speaking of,
I get what you're saying. That's the thing about it. But see, in this society nowadays, we don't know how to take on these aspects because we walk down the street, we can't say this. We can't have this conversation here. We can't have this conversation here because we don't want to offend nobody.
Mm-hmm.
But also, we have a right to have freedom of speech. But we can say freedom of speech, then it'll fall into what?
But we have to hold people accountable for some of the things that they're saying. Because me, as a black woman out here in this world today, I can walk down the street at any given time, during any given day, and hear a comment about a black woman or whatever. And it's very offensive to us, you know, but at this point, like, it's, you know, they have so many excuses and justifications why they should be able to say this that I shouldn't be bothered by it. And they feel like they don't owe me an apology or shouldn't apologize because of you know, their blatant remarks. But in actuality, they do owe me an apology. And I just want people to, you know, just start paying attention to that. Like, you don't have a justification. It's excuses what you're saying why this is coming out of your mouth. That's a bunch of excuses because, you know, whatever black woman gave you that reason, it wasn't me.
I agree with you.
So I shouldn't have to hear it because of what somebody else did, and now you don't owe me an apology because of her.
I definitely agree with you, but shout out to Dwayne Harrison, man. It's been about you since day one, Dwayne. I was like 14 years old, man. It's been about you.
So to me, it sounds like, my perspective is that it sounds like in these situations, you're going to be making a choice to deliver your higher self or your lower self. So I think you're focusing on the higher self, and I think Yogi's saying there are calls for situations where you might choose your lower self and say, you know what, I ain't apologize and so forth and so on. But both of y'all have valid points though, and I think both perspectives are realistic. You know what I mean? And it's a whole lot of things that go into those different perspectives, your particular mood that day, your particular rapport with that person or that situation. I think all those things are going to decide how you react to it. Yeah, you get what I mean?
It's all going to go back to your changed behavior.
Okay.
It's all going to go back to that. So
changed or the same?
It just depends. It just depends on what your behavior.
All right, so the excuses are the lies we tell ourselves, so we don't have to think anything is our fault. But yeah, that's what comes to my mind when I think about that. When someone says, you know, I wasn't trying to offend them, so I don't owe them an apology.
Right.
And it's like, I don't know if they was offended. You know, it just doesn't hurt to apologize. It's so petty. You know.
For me, it is. I'm just gonna.
Does it? Okay, all right.
Because, like I said, like your point was right. I got to go back to it was right. But my only problem is what I'm a number person. I'll apologize 2-3 times, just so to be clear. I'm so sorry. I apologize sincerely. Please forgive me. Or I'll go in detail with it. But when I have to apologize to a person I had no knowledge of, that hurt their feelings, that's when the problem comes into play. Not that they don't deserve the apology. Like you said, walking down the street, he can say something offensive about you and about another woman, but he doesn't know he offended you. So now you look at him, he's looking at you. Y'all got the Mexican standoff, and you don't know what's going on.
Right.
But then once he realized, oh, I'm so sorry. Because he didn't understand at that particular time because he wasn't focused on the people behind it.
Right.
That's the only thing any other time, if you were walking around and somebody said some disrespect, like, it's a black sister right there. Then that's growth between everybody else. But when you have lack of knowledge of who you hurt, and then they got their hand on your hip talking about, nigga, don't you? You're like, oh, where did you come from?
Right.
You came out of left field, and I have to apologize to you. And the other sister, she's over there laughing and joking. She's like, then it'll be a tag team effort. Like, girl, mind your business. He's talking to me. Now, what do you do then?
Right. Yeah. I believe Kevin Hart was in a situation like that, right? Where he had made comments.
Oh, yes, he did.
And he apologized for it.
Several years ago.
But then when it came to hosting the event, they wanted him to do it again.
Yeah, he said
and he was just like, I'm not doing it again.
That was just ridiculous because he did apologize.
Right.
Once you apologize, you apologize.
But see,
like,
this was the big...
So hold it
Dwayne
against
again, Dwayne. What happened was the other people felt offended. He apologized to the
Other people came along later on when they found out about it.
See, what Twitter is it's not at one individual person. It's the mass.
Right.
So he could have been talking about Joe Blow.
Right.
But the whole world took offense of it.
Right.
And then soon did the powers that be, he's about to host the Oscars. Now all of a sudden he got to apologize again.
You got to do it again.
And he said, no, sir.
Very valid point. Okay, so as you can see, excuses took us down a deep, tunnel and going into this, which is what we love because everybody's perspective is so valid. But stay with us. We are up on another break. We will be back. It's the Black Bottom Man Radio Show. Stay.
Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on BeExposedRadio.com.
I was meeting with a friend yesterday, and I've gotten to the point where don't ask me a question because the truth is going to come out. And
exactly.
Just don't do it.
If you ain't looking for the truth, don't come to me.
Don't do it because I can't hold my tongue. And she wants to be this stylist, boutique, but you're not doing anything in that nature, and I can't take you seriously if you're not doing those things. And I understood why people didn't take me seriously because I found myself in somebody else's lane. I was good at what I was doing and what I wanted to be, but I wasn't doing it for me. So how can I ask you to take me seriously if I'm living in somebody else's shoes?
And nobody can do what you do, and I think that's a big problem that people face now. Like, you see what somebody else is doing and you want to do that when that's not your lane.
That's not your lane.
That's not what you're supposed to be doing.
But it's popular. It's getting that person money. It's getting that person applause. Oh, I want applause. I want money. Let me stand over here behind them.
And then a lot of times people aren't honest with themselves either. Like, I was thinking earlier today, I've been woke for almost 2 days, so so you get honesty, yes. And I was thinking, like,
The Artist Exchange Radio Show.
We're rewarding you for something you already do, listening to us. It's radio loyalty, and it's an easy way for you to get free stuff. All you do is sign up. Go ahead and click the banner now. You'll earn points as you listen. Points you can trade in for great products and services in the Radio Loyalty store. You can earn even more points when you share your favorite station with friends on Facebook and Twitter. Radio Loyalty. It's free to sign up, so click the banner to join now.
Are you thinking about getting your GED diploma? Well, here at the GED Pep Talk Center, we've got a number of pep talks that can motivate you.
Sometimes things don't always turn out the way you want them to.
You know that feeling? People look at you and don't believe in you.
You want some gentle encouragement. Then you're on your way to your GED diploma and a better life.
But I know they're probably just a little bit nervous. You can find it in yourself to take that first step.
You can improve your future. You can do this. I know you can.
You need to start pushing yourself.
Now get your game face on and take the first step towards a better life. Hurry up.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Whatever level of motivation you need to get your GED diploma, we've got a pep talk that's right for you. Call 1-877-38-YOUR-GED.
Join the Just a Bit Outside crew every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. on Be Exposed Radio.
All right, so welcome back, everybody. We are still talking 6 things you need to remove from your life. We just went over excuses, and I'm going to read the last comment in regards to excuses. This is from Jennifer Candelaria. It's a quote from Maya Angelou. It says, "I've learned that people forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Maya Angelou. You get a bell for that, Jennifer. And that's what I'm getting at in regards to Dwayne's comment. You know, like you don't want to leave people with the feeling of you didn't give a shit about their feelings. You know, again, it's your option.
Yes, it is.
You know what I mean? But you don't want that kind of being returned your way. So I would choose a different route on that. All right, but let's move on. Let's move on to number 3. Damn, we're only on number 3.
Sometimes you got to do that to get stuff clear. Like,
right.
You know.
So number 3 is negative people. One of the things you should remove from your life is negative people. It says it's time to remove negative people. You literally do not have to be friends with anyone who doesn't support you and brings down your energy. It is okay to start outgrowing people that are not growing. Some people are better left in your past, no matter how bad you want them in your present. Oh, I'm gonna give the article a bell on that one. That was beautiful. Negative people. So I want to break this down, right? Because it's like 3-4 sentences. So the first, you literally do not have to be friends with anyone who does not support you and brings down your energy. I think that is something that has to be banged into our heads. As a community of black people, we have obligations to certain people. People you grew up with, people you're related to, people you work with, people you close with. You know what I mean? People who are on your favorites list. We feel very obligated to them. But what if they are not good energy for you?
And I don't want to get off negative people. But this goes back to the first one with guilty, when I was like, the guilty thing goes deeper. Because when people start to let go of certain people, they feel like a certain guilt about it. Because the person had been in their life so long, like we've been childhood best friends. Like, how can I let this person go out of my life without feeling some type of guilt behind it? So again, it has to go to change behaviors. Because as your behavior is changing or whatever, if you're going to totally let go of the behavioral pattern you had before, it's going to cause you to let go of some negative people. But you're not going to want to do that. So it's going to be a little difficult with that change behavior than you think it is when it really comes down to it.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it's a walk through the park. I think it's important, though, understanding that you don't have to be friends with people who don't bring any energy, positive energy into your life. You have to develop a love for you more than for everybody else.
Right.
And then I have another question, like how can you totally change? How can you totally have a changed behavior if you are keeping these negative people in your life? This is
that's a good question.
Is part of the problem.
Right. Yeah.
Like how can you totally change if these people is still there in your life when they are part of the problem?
That's the only way. Like I have several friends that it's kind of crazy because it's like they're Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You know, Dr. Jekyll is the person I can get along with. All of a sudden, you get a couple beers and here comes Mr. Hyde.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you hold fast to Dr. Jekyll because like good conversations, hang out, whatever, and all of a sudden, a couple sips, you're like, man, why did I put myself in this predicament?
Right.
So, how I'm gonna ask you this: how do you cut that situation off? Because they're good people to a certain extent.
Right. I think that alcohol brings out your true personality. You know what I mean? So I think when you're dealing with someone who has alcohol in them, you're probably experiencing what they really feel about you, what they really think about you.
Right.
So I have to take those things in consideration.
Absolutely.
You get what I'm saying? If I want to be around them where I feel they're going to be at their best, maybe I choose to deal with them in non-alcoholic situations. You know what I mean? Non-alcohol situations. But overall, if I feel that they've really revealed something deep that hurt me, you know what I mean, while they was drunk, I'm going to have to really consider, is this the first time they've said this? Have I heard this before? Is this behavior normal when they get around me and they get a little tipsy or whatever? I'm just a true believer in what it says, which is you literally don't have to be friends with anyone who doesn't support you. Like I have a lot of people I associate with, but I also have a lot of people that I associate with who do not support me and do not support Black by the Man. These are not people I consider to be friends. These are people that I just feel I associate with from time to time because I love me. And they either people bring one of two things into your life. They either bring good energy or bad energy. True. And I'm not going to be trying to figure out when you got good energy and when you got bad energy. You get what I'm saying? I'm just going to say, you know, they don't bring good energy to me, you know, so I'm going to, you know, do it like that. I have found that it has helped me, you know what I mean? Because dealing with a bunch of people brings a bunch more stress in your life, and it keeps you occupied. You are occupied with all the bullshit that everybody else brings to the table. When you pull yourself away from that, it allows you to discover your creativity. I love using Tesla's quote. You know, y'all know who Tesla is, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so they asked Tesla, how are you so creative? And he said, in order to be a creative person, you have to spend time alone. You can't do that when you got a circle of friends who constantly want you everywhere, everything going on. You know, crab feast, parties, bar, do this, that. We going to Kings and Maine. You know, like people will keep you busy, right? And you don't find time to find out who you really are. You don't find time to discover the true genius that lives within you. But if you associate yourself with people who bring a positive energy, they feed that creativity.
Yes.
They don't take away from it.
Yeah.
See, you go to the bar with them too, right?
Yes.
But y'all don't just talk about miscellaneous shit at the bar all the time.
Right.
Yes.
You actually have conversations about real estate, about investing, about getting a raise at your job, trying to open a business. It's not all just, you know, playtime. So I completely support that. You know what I mean? Like I'm well aware, and I've learned I don't have to be friends with anyone who brings negative energy into my life. And if you don't support what I do, you know, like, and unless you just really got a valid reason for not supporting what I do, what could that really be with someone who's supposed to be your friend? There really isn't no valid reason. You get what I mean? So I support it 100%. And that's how I would deal with it, because I've been through it. It's been a positive in my life. I found out things about myself that I didn't know when I removed a lot of the garbage that I was surrounded by. You get what I mean?
Well, certain the reason why I said the alcohol is I gave the person an excuse.
Right.
That's what I did.
There you get. There you get.
Thank you, because I was going to ask, I was like, because I was going to ask y'all a question. Like, okay, so when we say, you know, this person is negative, but you know, they have great conversation and I can have a great time with them. Like, are we giving them an excuse to like continue to keep them? Is that just an excuse that we give just to continue to keep them in our life?
I would think it is. I would think it is.
Definitely.
And I think it's rhyme and reason behind the excuse. The history of the relationship. Are they a relative? You get what I'm saying? Like, these are things that we use as excuses to say, I can't let it go.
Like, it's not all bad days.
Right,
You know
it's
what I
not
mean?
all bad. Right, right.
We get along football season, but basketball come, we beefing.
Right.
So, so by us giving them excuses, like we're taking away of holding them accountable for those things.
I think you know, I don't know what an exact true measurement would be, right? But here's a suggestion. You can look at how people are towards you when things go well for you. That'll help you find out who they really are. Because, you know, like, everybody is about you when you're down. Because you're down. You know what I mean? So everybody has a little bit of sympathy. Like, oh, man, I hope things get better for you. You know, this, that, and the third, right? But how are they when you tell them that things are good? Do you even feel that you have people in your life that you could tell something good?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, I hosted a karaoke night, right? Like, I all the people I associate with, like, I didn't call them up and tell them, hey, come on out. You know what I mean? Karaoke night. I'm going to be there. Support me. I already know they don't support. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still associate with them, but they're not my friends. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to call them up and get hurt by expecting them to come support me when I know they don't support. Do you see where I'm coming from? Accept the reality, you know. Check people out when things go good for you. Yes. Like I always said, everybody will be on your team if you say, I'm going back to school to get a master's degree. Wait till you finish. See how many of them come to your graduation. They're not coming. You get what I mean? They're not coming. But go ahead.
Is it healthy or smart to keep negative people around you anyway when the world is already against you?
Right.
With a lot of things. Is it smart that even within your inner circle you still have this negativity going on?
I personally don't think it is, but I understand the struggle of removing people too. You know what I mean? So I don't want to act like, you know, my method is dry cut, you know, but I know that's not like that for everybody else. But, you know, we all got our reasons how we handle certain things. So I don't think it's in your benefit to have negative people around. I don't think it's in your benefit to say, oh, well, that's just how she is all the time. No, you're not going to be around me if that's how you are all the time.
And I guess that's why they say it's lonely on top.
Yeah, that must be it.
Because in order to get there, it's going to cause you to like.
People going to fall off.
Yes.
They say it's only at the top because when you try to move to the top, people fall off. They don't come with you.
Right.
But I'll read a comment here from Miss Ramona Tobit Glover. She says, people come into our lives for a reason or a season. The ones that have reason are the ones that support you and love you unconditionally. The ones that are a season will likely be the ones bringing the negativity. And once that happens, it's time to change season. Absolutely. You get a bell for that. I love that. Love that. Go ahead, brother.
Michael Miner says, I tried to get along with most anyone, but some people you have to keep on a very short fuse that can burn out very fast.
Yes, very true. Very true. Very true. I mean, I think at a certain age, definitely the age that I'm at, right? The time, and this is just me talking, right? The time for me to be around people who don't support me and don't do anything to help advance me, or I can't do anything to help advance them. That time of me being around those people are over.
That should be
like,
up.
I'm in my 40s. Like, that's 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? If you're smart, you're eliminated in the 30s. But I'm just saying, it's more understandable in the 20s. But as you go into your 30s, especially your 40s, you got to start seeing what's real. You know what I mean? You got to connect with people who can help advance you. Rather, that advancement is just supporting you and saying, hey, yo, I'll come. I'll be there that night. You know what I mean? I'll come. I'll, get there. Or if they can literally help you with what you're doing financially, education-wise, so forth and so on. But to be like a full-grown adult and to still know that your so-called circle is not only a bunch of negative people, but a bunch of people that can't advance you. It's not a smart move to me.
Now, this stuff gonna ruffle the fellas on this one.
Ruffle them fellas, Dad.
What it is that by us being a product of our environment, there's the excuse. Now, us being a product of our environment, we are a negative people because we were put in situations where we would created, but the project. Everybody listening when I say this. The project was created for us to be negative. So all you hood dudes saying your product's this, your product's that, we're lab rats.
Right.
So the project for us to be negative, to kill all each other out. So when you see a person excelling, we are built for demise. So when you see a person excelling, you don't want him to go nowhere. You got his coattail, you got his sneaker, you got everything possible to keep him from excelling. So when a person, so now I have to cut you off by someone else's hand.
Right.
Because we didn't design our people to be like this. Because in the 40s and 50s, they found a way out. But the powers that be put them back down. They put the drugs in the neighborhood. They turn mothers into prostitutes. They turn fathers into drug dealers, pimps, crackheads, everything.
Right.
So now when you come outside into a negative environment, and you come outside, he got the new Jordans on. I'm like, yeah, this nigga got the new J's on. His mother worked hard to get them sneakers. He got an A on his report card. He earned every bit of those sneakers. So now you hating on him because of what he got. Now you're negative towards him. And y'all cool. Play basketball together. His mom got him got the Dollar General Magic Johnsons. Remember that? The Dollar General Magic Johnsons. She got him there. So now that's the problem that comes into play.
Okay.
So,
it's a valid point. It's a valid point.
And I agree with everything you said.
Okay.
That's why. The only thing, that's why the show today is on 6 things that we need to let go of.
Yes.
You're absolutely right.
These are just the 6 things we need to let go of.
So I'm very high on letting go of negative people.
So.
You know what I mean? And part of it could be because I have experience being around people who honestly do support you. So that's the thing. Not only have I let go of negative people, but I also experience being around other black people who want to help you.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like I'm one of those black people for other people. You know what I mean? Like if I can help, I'm going to try my best to help.
Let me. Can I just say?
It's a comment, but you go ahead first.
Oh, okay.
Can I just ask you a question? Though?
Which,
do you think you probably would have
I
met
don't
up
have
with?
yet.
Do you think you probably would have met up with these people who's very supportive of you if you didn't let go of negative people?
I don't think I would have.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think I would.
So that's why it's big to
I think I
let
drew
go
it in.
of
Let me read
negative
it from
people.
yours.
Because if you let go of negative people, it's gonna open your eyes up to more positive people. When you're around negative people, that's all you see is negative.
Okay, yeah, you can read
that's
that.
all you see is negative. So even when positive people is trying to come into your circle, you're more skeptical of the positive people than you are with the negative people because you're so used to the negative circle.
Yes.
But once you start letting them go, you can see these positive people for what they are, and then like maybe yes, these people can be helpful.
See, I think just off the top of the head, right? I think one of the things we can look at, and you don't fool with Facebook too much, but let's just look at Facebook. Everybody's got 5, 6, 7, 8, 900 friends or more, right? But then when they do a GoFundMe for $1,000, 4 days later they got $85 in there. See? How do you have 700 friends, but you only got $85 for a GoFundMe, right? With $1,000 mark. See, these people don't support you. You get what I'm saying? They just a part of watching what you do, keeping their eye on you, because if half of those supported you, if a third of those supported you, you'd hit that mark. You understand me? Even if it was just they gave $1 each. You understand me? Like, but you see the reality of how you get support. Now, what if you put up a picture of you in the hospital with an IV in your arm? You get 300 people. Prayers going up. You get what I'm saying? We praying for you.
And that's the clap, y'all.
Yeah,
That's not the prayer.
yeah, that's the clap. You notice I did that, right? Because that's what that is. It's actually a high five.
Yeah.
It's actually a high five. So I think that's a testament right there that, you know, you're not getting the support that you think you get. Everybody you think is your friend is not your friend. They don't want to see you do well. They really don't. But go ahead, brother.
Roz Copeland. I believe it's very unhealthy to keep negative people around you. For one reason, blood pressure. Let me read that again, because I don't think you put that right. I believe it's very unhealthy to keep negative people around you. For one reason, blood pressure, silent killer. People don't understand that your vitals move when you're in that type of environment.
It's true. That's true. Like negative energy has an actual physical impact on your body.
Yeah, definitely does.
You know, just like you can literally die from stress.
Yes.
People have had heart attacks behind stress.
I talked to a friend this morning. I haven't seen him in a while. He said, man, he was in the hospital literally before I came over there. He said, man, he had 8 doctors in and out of this room. He said they could not find out what's the matter with him. He said his legs locked up on him. Nobody could tell him nothing. So finally, he said, his doctor said, man, it's his stress.
Stress can do that. So it can have a physical effect.
Okay,
Absolutely.
So even with us knowing all of this, then I have another question. Then, like, why do we keep negative people around? What is really the purpose of keeping negative people around?
What it is, we've been doing it for so long, we don't know how to do better.
Bingo. 1, accustomed to it. Right? You're comfortable with it. Number 2, you don't often identify the negative people. You just identify the negative things. You haven't attached it to this is who they are. You understand what I mean? We individualize it.
Okay,
gotcha. Okay, we do that with a lot of things. You understand what I mean? We do that with racism. You get what I'm saying? You know, when it comes to us having to face the reality of the racism we're against, one of the ways we stop from looking at it is we start individualizing the people who are not like that. So I'm going to start thinking of all the people who are not like that. Shout out to my boy Billy Eyes, who's with us today. See, so I'm going to start thinking about Billy. I'm going to start thinking about Carl, right? I'm going to start thinking about people I work with, and that's going to stop me from seeing the true reality. You know what I mean? Right. Those people are special people. You get what I'm saying? They're not a representation of the overall of what's going on. See where I'm coming from? So I think it's the same thing with negative people. We're not seeing this is a negative person, period. We're seeing, well, she was negative about this. He was negative about that. But if you could look back through the history of your relationship, you would see that they were often negative about things. You get what I mean? So I don't think we always identify it. And then even if we can identify it, depending on who that person is in your life, relative, right?
Yeah,
you know, because what if it's auntie? You get what I'm saying? What if it's your grandmama? You get what I'm saying? Like, but people are experiencing this because negativity is not. There's no. It doesn't discriminate.
Absolutely.
You get what I mean? It could be a friend, it could be a family member, it could be a co-worker, it could be anybody. So I think the biggest thing is often we are not facing the actual identity of these people that are negative.
Okay, I'll go for that.
Right, and that's probably because we don't want to. It ain't that we don't have the ability to face who these people are. You don't want to accept it. You know, you don't want to think, man, but that's my man. You know what I'm saying? Other people like, he said this, he said that. You know what I mean? You just like, man, maybe he was just mad at me about something.
Like, I have to say this, right? And I want everybody to understand this. This is Facebook Live and everything. I'm not the best Muslim. I'm far from it. And the reason why I'm saying is because I notice a lot of my friends and loved ones tend to make jokes about the religion when they come around people, and they'll say little slick things out their mouths to get an audience. And I noticed that. And as he's talking about these different points about what a person should do far as cutting people off, this is a message to y'all. You do it again, I'm never dealing with you again. and this is the truth.
Straight up.
At the end of the day, I
You
know
want Bell on that one?
Yes, sir. Because I know my religion. I know it very well. I can speak the language of Arabic. I know the language. I know the Harus and everything else. But the point of the matter, everyone has their day in the sun where they fell victim to their desires. And I get that. But it's not right for you to chastise me in my certain ways. Pull me to the side.
Right.
This is what we should do. If you love me enough as a friend, then that's what you should do. But if you do not, sever ties. Make it easier for the both of us. Male and female.
Right.
Aunt or uncle. It has no, because you can break up, you can separate yourself without being bitter.
Sure.
Look, you know what? For the both of us, before I say something I don't want to say to you, especially if it's your aunt or someone that you take a high standard to. You don't want to offend them, but you got to do what's right for you. So take the high road, like she said earlier. Take the high road and apologize for your actions, even though you don't know that person, but you said something offensive and they heard it. Take the high road.
Right.
You know what, ma'am, sir, young man, I apologize sincerely. I didn't know you were behind me.
Right.
This is a general friend of mine, and this is what we do. But this person's not offended, but you are, so I am truly sorry.
Absolutely. That's a good point. It's a valid point. I'm going to read another comment here. This is Miss Natasha Dream Chaser Jackson. Janelle, what's going on?
Hey, babe.
She says, we sometimes keep negative people around because we don't want to be alone. You get a bell for that. It's hard to separate from people you love, but it's harder to do this alone. All right, so very, very valid point.
Yes,
you
it
know,
was.
and that is a big one. I was going to get to that one next, but when I saw that she wrote it, I want her to get credit for that. You know, so that's the other one. People are scared to be alone because feeling alone makes you feel ostracized. You feel on the outside. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, but I'm just saying, I see how people, you know, feel that way. You know what I mean? Because think about it. Even if it's negative people, say it's 5 or 6 of them, right? And they, you know, don't fool with you like that no more. Whether you did it or they did it. The fact that those 5 or 6 people are still doing stuff together. You know in your heart they're negative people. You know what I mean? But you still feel a little left out. Yeah, right? They didn't even invite me to the crab feast. Right? You get what I'm saying? Yeah, right? Right. You know what I'm saying? Ain't even invite you. So you can end up feeling a certain way.
But my thing is to Natasha Jackson is, I totally agree. But a lot of times we feel alone. Now we have to look ourselves in the mirror now. Now we have to do reality. You get to see who you really are. Because when you're around the mass, you can do whatever you want to do, laugh and joke. But when you sit there alone, sitting there with you and your thoughts, that's when you're like, what am I doing with my life? What should I do?
Sure.
What I haven't done. Where do I go from here? Because I no longer associate with these people.
Yeah.
Shall I go up or shall I go down?
Sure.
So that's all of it. I'm gonna use myself for example. When you sit alone by yourself, your mind wanders.
Yes.
You're sitting in the house for a couple hours, you could be doing something constructive. But you're sitting there, wasting time. And for people don't understand, time is very precious. Because tomorrow's not promised. So therefore, you're used to being out there in the streets, hanging out with your negative people or whatever, because you don't want to feel alone. But then when you're home, try to find something constructive. That is one of my flaws. I'll sit there and do absolutely nothing. I'm just keeping it on it.
That's a valid point. And go ahead, Ms. Janice.
And I was going to just add on to that. Even when we let go of negative people and had that time to think to ourselves, we all know somebody positive. We do. We all know somebody positive that, you know, we can go get in a circle with. Because most of the time, these are the people that everybody else says stay away from. Yeah. So we all know somebody positive
you know what?
that we can get in a circle with.
Yeah.
So even when we think about letting go of the negative people, you open yourself up to something good. So
I think you hit the nail on the head when you said that positive person, the negative people will tell you stay away from that person.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Find the person anybody says stay away from.
Stay away from them, and they're taking you away from someone who can add to it, right? But I'll add to this to Natasha's comment about being afraid to be alone, which is valid, right? Here's something to consider. When you are surrounded by negative people who don't support you in what you do, you're already alone. You just don't know it.
Right. That's a good point.
You get what I'm saying?
Very true.
You're already alone. You just don't know it.
Very true.
Right. So it's just going into the area of recognizing that you are alone.
But that goes back to the crab pot, where you have a person excelling again, and he can take you with him. He got his hand out. He's showing you what he got right in front of you. Here's the knucklehead. Man, he ain't no good anyway.
I'm trying to tell you.
Or he or she,
right.
not going to leave anybody out. He or she can take you to a place where you can, longevity, you can make somebody yourself. But the knuckleheads don't want you. They want you in the corners. They want you in the bars. They want you in places that has no benefit. Like, for example, I know I'm not the best person, and I never will be. But trying to excel, if I don't excel tomorrow, whatever little bit of knowledge I have, I would like to leave to my son.
Got you.
So if I fail, which is possible, if I fail, I'd rather fail failing to give him what I have so he can excel past me.
Right. Yeah, like you and I have discussed before, I'm a true believer that one of the best things that you can do for your family, like you were saying with your son, is improve who you are. Right. Even if you're in a bad situation. But with children, they're going to look at who you are and what you do versus what you tell them.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
Action.
you can improve that by working on yourself.
I'd say you owe it to yourself, you owe it to your family to be the best you that you can possibly be. You can be the best you. You can do it.
Miss Jackson says you got that right. Ringing my bell for your comment. Thank you, Miss Jackson. But your comment was awesome as well. We appreciate it because these type of shows, I think, help to touch people's minds and open up, especially when we have the audience giving their perspective.
Which y'all should.
Right. And today was just awesome.
Yes,
you know what I
it
mean? So I
was.
want to
Yes,
thank
it was.
everybody for definitely participating. I'll read another comment here. Mr. Daryl Robinson, shout out to my homeboy Daryl. Daryl says, agreed. It's hard to break the habit of hanging with negative people. Thus, the need to make conscious decisions to transfer that energy and create a new habit. Absolutely. And now that, Daryl, is getting into plan B, right? Transferring that energy, right? And putting it towards something. Because we do spend time alone when we don't know it, like you were saying. I always say, for lack of better words, when you're on the toilet. Some of the clearest moments in your life is when you're in that bathroom with that door shut, sitting on that toilet. Look, especially if you left your phone out there, right? It's just you and the porcelain throne. And you be sitting there thinking about everything. Like, you know what I need to do? Right.
Everything when they can. You said, what in it?
So that's very important. All right, so stay with us. We up on our break. It's the Black Bottom Man Radio Show. 6 things removed from your life. We'll be back and we'll wrap it up. Stay with us.
That was fun.
Only in the forest can you see this. But nothing beats the moment you see that.
Cool!
That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. And you might just see this. Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
If I sit around, hold up, look. If I sit around, hold up. Yeah, rebel. Let's do it. If I sit around, I'ma smoke some more. Wasn't even thinking about smoke before, but I'm in my head and I'm in the bed. Don't know who I am, like I'm wearing a mask. Working mode, tell them where the cash. If you wear the cash, tell them where the cash. If you playing for you gon' run it back. Don't make promises, but I promise that. Don't promise me, cause I ain't into that. Fell in love with that and got hurt from that. Now it's all over and the curtains back. Can't see you not noticing that. I'm letting it go, it ain't holding me back. Yeah, I'm on dice, but ain't come for the crack. Drinking with uncle, we only do jack. How I'm alive, I thank God for that. Praying about it, things getting better. Open it up with my name on the letter. Why you crazy about it? Saying whatever, you shy to be you. You know you gotta be you. Sometimes I need privacy too. Yeah, you know I ride. You know I ride, and you know you ride for me too. Yeah, you know I. Look, you like getting that hit for real. When it's me and Mary, just us, we chill. I'm in a rush to get off to get you. Never ever had to floss to get you. Pay the dues that it cost to kiss you. Rug burns on the carpet with you. Oh yeah. Come on, dog, throw this in there. Had to dedicate this to the homie out of New Orleans. Break. Said she wanna bump that. You wanna do it? Go ahead, do it. I sit around.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
All right, welcome back to the Black Bottom Man Radio Show. In case you missed it, today's show was 6 things to remove from your life, and we only got up to number 3 because the conversation just got so good, and we love if we can't finish the show. That's a good thing. That means we have people participating. So we'll just go over the last 3 real quick. So the next one was number 4, which was anxiety, and it says anxiety is like sitting in a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but you don't get anywhere. Overthinking ruins the situation. It twists things around. It just makes everything worse than it actually is. So anxiety, that's something we got to remove.
Yes.
What is anxiety? Intense, excessive, and persistent worry and fear about everyday situations. It can cause fast heart rate, rapid breathing, sweating, and feeling tired may actually occur. So anxiety, we got to remove the anxiety out of our life. I think a best way to think about that might be, understand that some things you can change, some things you can't. Once something happens, I know I'm guilty of overthinking. I will overthink a conversation I had with a person. I'll walk away and think, well, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Oh, I hope he doesn't think that I meant this when I said that. And then I have to say to myself, you know what? Let it go, Mike. Let it go. Let it go. All right, so number 5 is negative self-talk. We are defined by the stories we tell ourselves every single day, moment to moment. I'm not good enough. I can't do this. It's not meant for me. Recognize when to phase a job, a life stage, or a relationship. When the phase of a job or life stage of a relationship is over, and let it go. Moving on doesn't have to be a dramatic event. You can simply choose to move forward with peace and clarity, and never remove you from the equation, because no matter what happens, nothing will ever add up. So when it says never remove you, I think it means don't allow people to change who you are.
Okay.
Unless it's for the better.
Right, okay.
Change yourself, but don't change who you are just to fit someone else.
Okay.
So number 6 is pleasing others. Now this is the one I wanted to really go into depth with, right? But we ran out of time. So pleasing others says remove trying to please everyone. We lose ourselves trying to please everyone else, and then lose everyone trying to re-find ourselves. So that's the one I really want to touch on. So what we're going to do is next Monday, next show, we're going to do the show about pleasing other people. And I'm going to go over 12 reasons why you should not try to be a people pleaser. 12 reasons. So that's how we're going to cover not being able to get through this today. So that is it in a nutshell. So let me recap all 6 for everybody. Again, today's show was 6 things to remove from your life. Number 1 was guilt. Number 2 was excuses. Number 3 is negative people. Number 4 is anxiety. Number 5 is self-talk. And number 6 is pleasing others. So the first 3 took us there.
Yeah, you did.
First 3 took us there, but make sure you join us next week. And we're going to give you those 12 reasons why you should not try to be a people pleaser. And, you're going to love continuing to grow with us, because we grow from this as well, right?
Yeah,
agreed. We grow. Like I always put the disclaimer out, me and we are not the masters of any of this stuff, right? No. We love having these conversations, sharing it with the audience, and growing as you guys grow with us. It's an awesome feeling. We love it. So again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with us today.
I definitely appreciate it.
All of the audience members, in behalf of the Black Body Man team, as well as my partner in consciousness, my lovely co-host, the lovely Miss Janice, and my main man, Derek Woodson. We'll be back next week. I'm your host, Brother Mike. I'll catch you on the flip side. It's the black side, baby. Peace. You know what I mean? Peace. Yeah, catch you on the black side, baby. It's all good.
Yeah, I'm glad I came out, man. This is good stuff.
Yeah, I thought you would enjoy this. I thought you would.
Hi, Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph